Hi guys, welcome back to my channel English in a Blink, and today I'm going to talk about narrative tenses. Yes, what are narrative tenses? Why do we use them? Think about it. Narrative tenses, talking about narration. Yes, okay, so we use narrative tenses when we want to tell our story, all right, when you want to narrate something. So maybe something happened with you, it is like an anecdote, or you just want to tell a simple story or something that happened last night with you, okay? It could be anything. Now, if you come to think of it, when you're going to tell that story, that has already happened. So you are going to use your past tense, isn't it? Yes. Okay. So when you're telling a story, you just cannot keep on using your past simple, can you? No, you can't. All right. So narrative tenses are all your past tenses together. So your past simple, your past continuous, past perfect, and your past perfect continuous. Yes. All these tenses together are known as narrative tenses. So how do we use them? Is there any rule? Yes, there is. Okay, so we use our past simple, for, as you all know, for completed actions in the past. But when you want to tell a story, of course, it will be the same. You're going to talk about things that have happened and are completed, okay? But when you talk about the main events of your story, that is when you use your past simple, okay? So like you can say, you know what, I picked up the phone and ordered a pizza. So let's say you were talking about something last night, all right? So past simple is used to talk about main events of the story. Now, when you talk about past continuous, okay? So, I mean, if you'll just say, I picked up the phone and I ordered the pizza, it's very dry. You haven't actually kind of set the stage, right? So when you say, the wind was blowing gently and the birds were singing the best songs ever when suddenly I heard a scream. Okay, so did you see? I used my past continuous and my past simple together. So one was setting the stage, and then past simple, what did I do with past simple? The main event. I heard a scream. Okay, so that is how you can use these two tenses together. So with past continuous, you set the stage, all right? You make your story beautiful. The birds were singing, the wind was blowing gently, or I was sitting on my sofa sipping my tea, all right? So all those things. So you set the stage with your past continuous, and then, like I said, your main event, which generally is like, when you're talking, using them together. So it is going to be like to talk about action in progress, past continuous. And when you are talking about, past simple, it is kind of, it interrupts. And also it is a shorter action. Okay, so the long action when you're setting the stage, past continuous, and then something interrupts, which is a shorter action, and then you use your past simple for that. All right, easy peasy, simple. All right, and then we come to, let's say, past perfect. Okay, so then when you're telling a story, guys, it's not just one thing which is happening in the past, right? So then there can be more than one thing happening in the past. So remember, we use past perfect to talk about actions or situations that were completed before another action in the story. What do I mean by that? So look, when I say, when I got to the restaurant, all my friends had eaten and some of them had left. Okay, so now when you're using your past perfect, it gives you the idea that when I got to the restaurant, so when you were there at the restaurant, when you got to the restaurant, your friends, they had eaten and some of them had left. So this action of eating and leaving has already happened. All right, so when you reach, this is already, this action is already, you're talking about when I got to the restaurant. So this is already past action, which you're talking about with past simple. And when you say all my friends had eaten, that means you're using your past perfect, as you can see here, also with the timeline. That means, past perfect talks about past before the past. All right, so that's why it establishes. So now you get the idea when you say had eaten. All right, so this action had already happened. It was finished by the time I went there, I reached there. Okay, so that's how you use your past perfect together with past simple. So past simple, past, and past perfect, past before the past. Okay, so that's what past perfect is used for. And now you say past perfect continuous, all right? So use your past perfect continuous to talk about longer action, okay? Or situations which started before and continued up to this point, okay? You get it? So you are talking about use past perfect, like I said. Let's say, okay, so when I say she had been studying for hours when she found out the exam was cancelled. So like I said, past perfect continuous to talk about longer actions or situations. Again, when I'm saying that she had been studying for hours when she found out the exam was cancelled. Okay, so now as you can see, the focus is on the length of the action. Okay, so we're talking about something in the past, but we are focusing on that this action started in the past, but it continued for a while before it stopped. Okay, so you understand that with past perfect continuous, we always focus on a past action, but we focus on that it was in progress. All right, it continued for some time up to some point in your story. Okay, so that's when you use your past perfect continuous. Another example, they had been talking about the details of the party for a couple of hours. So when I asked them whether they wanted a break, they all agreed. Okay, so as you understand, they had been talking about. Okay, so I want to say that this action of when they were discussing, it continued for a while in the party. So when I popped the question that like whether they want to break, they all agreed because they were already discussing that. Okay, so these are your 4 tenses which are together known as narrative tenses, which I'm sure you will be able to use now when you are going to tell some of your stories to your friend. Like I always say, if you like the lesson, what do you have to do? Nothing much. Press that like button, subscribe, spread the word, share it with your friends. Until we meet next time, bye for now.